Lieutenant Alex Morgan stood at the viewport of the USS Horizon, watching the stars streak by. Earth was now just one bright dot among many, barely visible from this distance. 10 years had passed since humanity's first contact with alien life, and humans were still adjusting to their place in the galactic community. "Lieutenant, you're needed on the bridge," said a voice over the intercom. Alex straightened his uniform and made his way through the corridors. The Horizon was a diplomatic vessel, designed to represent humanity's interests among the stars. As the ship's diplomatic officer, Alex had met many alien species. Some were friendly, others cautious, but all seemed to regard humans with a mixture of curiosity and unease. Captain Laura Bennett looked up as Alex entered the bridge. Her expression was serious. "We've picked up a distress signal from a Galactic Coalition science vessel. They're under attack." "Coalition? Out here?" Alex asked. The Galactic Coalition rarely ventured this far into unclaimed space. "They were conducting research," Laura said, bringing up a star map. "The signal is coming from the Vega sector. We're the closest ship." The communications officer, Ben Hayes, turned from his console. "Captain, the Coalition vessel is transmitting. Again, they're under attack by Nexvari." A chill ran through the bridge. The Nexvari were infamous throughout the galaxy. Massive wolf-like predators with advanced technology and neural networks. Most species considered them uncontrollably aggressive. "Set course for the distress signal," Laura ordered. "Maximum speed." As the Horizon changed direction, Dr. Kate Wilson entered the bridge. The xenobiologist had been studying predatory species across the galaxy, trying to understand how Earth's creatures compared. "I heard the alert," Kate said. "Nexvari?" Alex nodded. "Coalition research vessel under attack." "The Coalition has requested we stay back," Ben reported. "They say the Nexvari are too dangerous for humans to engage." Laura raised an eyebrow. "They send a distress call but don't want our help?" "The Coalition classifies Earth as a Class 12 death world," Kate explained. "They think we're dangerous enough already. They probably fear what would happen if humans made contact with the Nexvari." Alex had heard this before. Earth's high gravity, extreme weather patterns, and abundance of predators made it one of the harshest inhabited planets known to the Coalition. Humans were considered unnaturally strong, durable, and aggressive by most alien standards. "We can't just ignore a distress call," Laura decided. "Prepare a rescue team. Alex, you'll lead it." 2 hours later, Alex stood in the shuttle bay with 5 crew members. They wore standard expedition armor and carried stun weapons, lethal. Force was to be avoided whenever possible. Kate joined them, carrying her research equipment. "I'm coming too. This might be our only chance to observe Nexvari behavior up close." "This isn't a research mission," Alex warned. "Every mission is a research mission," Kate replied with a smile. "Besides, my knowledge might help if we encounter them." The shuttle launched from the Horizon, approaching a small planetoid where the Coalition vessel had landed. The science ship was partially hidden in a rocky canyon, its hull damaged. "I'm picking up life signs," said Sam Foster, the team's medic. "Multiple Coalition species inside the ship, and something else moving around outside, larger signatures." "Nexvari," Kate whispered, excitement mixing with fear in her voice. Alex guided the shuttle to land behind a ridge, hiding them from direct view. "We move quick and quiet. Our goal is to reach the Coalition ship and extract survivors." The team moved across the rocky terrain, keeping low. The planetoid had thin atmosphere, enough to breathe but barely. The sky above them was black, stars visible even in daytime. They were halfway to the Coalition vessel when Sam's scanner beeped. "Movement. 3 o'clock, fast." Alex turned just as a massive shape leaped from behind a boulder. It landed 20 feet away and the team froze. The Nexvari stood over 7 feet tall on its hind legs. Its body was covered in dark gray fur with streaks of blue. Its face was wolf-like but with 4 eyes instead of 2, all focused intently on the humans. Metal implants were visible along its spine and shoulders, interface points for their neural technology. "Nobody move," Alex whispered. "No sudden movements." The Nexaveri's nostrils flared as it scented the air, its upper lip curled back, revealing teeth designed for tearing flesh. A low growl rumbled from its chest. Years of diplomatic training had taught Alex to read alien body language. This was a predator's threat display. On Earth, such displays often preceded an attack. The rest of the team tensed, hands moving toward their weapons. But Alex did something unexpected. He stepped forward, keeping his movements slow and deliberate. "Lieutenant," Sam hissed. "What are you doing?" Alex didn't answer. He kept his eyes on the Nexvari, not staring directly into its eyes but not looking away either, the way one apex predator acknowledges another. The Nexvari's growl changed pitch. Its head tilted slightly. "It's curious," Kate whispered. "Not attacking." "We're not running," Alex said quietly. "Most species they encounter probably panic and flee. Triggers their chase instinct." The Nexvari took a step forward, still studying Alex. Then, surprisingly, it made a series of clicking sounds from its throat and retreated behind the rocks. "It's gone," Sam said, checking his scanner. "Moving away from us." "Did it just communicate?" asked Leah Wong, the team's security specialist. "I think it was evaluating us," Kate said, her eyes wide with excitement. "This is unprecedented. Nexavari usually attack any non-Nexavari on sight." They continued toward the Coalition vessel, reaching it without further incident. The ship's airlock was damaged but functional. Alex overrode the lock and the team entered. Inside, they found 12 Coalition scientists huddled in the ship's central chamber. The aliens, a mix of species from what humans called garden worlds, looked up in fear as the humans entered. A tall, reed-thin alien with pale blue skin stepped forward. "Humans? They sent humans?" Its translator made its voice sound surprised. "Received your distress call," Alex explained. "We're here to help." "But the Nexavari are outside," said another alien, this one resembling a large insect. "How did you get past them?" "We encountered one," Kate said. "It observed us but didn't attack." The Coalition scientists exchanged looks of disbelief. "Impossible," said the blue alien. "We've lost 3 crew members to them already." "What were you researching here?" Alex asked as Sam began treating the injured aliens. "The planetoid has rare mineral formations," the insectoid alien explained. "We didn't know this was Nexavari territory until they attacked." "We need to move quickly," Alex said. "Our shuttle can take everyone in one trip if we squeeze." As they prepared to evacuate, Kate pulled Alex aside. "That Nexavari recognized something in you. In us. Humans are from a death world too. We're predators in our own right. You think that's why it didn't attack?" "I think," Kate said, eyes gleaming, with the thrill of discovery, "that we might have more in common with the Nexavari than anyone realized. This could change everything we know about interspecies relations." The journey back to the shuttle was tense but uneventful. As they lifted off, Alex spotted movement on a ridge above them, 3 Nexavari watching the shuttle rise. One of them, perhaps the same one they had encountered, raised its head and let out a howl that echoed even through the shuttle's hull. "What does that mean?" Leah asked nervously. Kate smiled. "I don't know yet, but I intend to find out." As the shuttle docked with the horizon, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of something much bigger. Humanity had made first contact with countless species, but the Nexavari were different. For the first time, humans had met an alien species that might understand what it meant to evolve on a world that tried to kill you every day. A species that might recognize in humanity what the rest of the galaxy feared, the instincts and abilities of true survivors. The news of the encounter with the Nexavari spread quickly through the USS Horizon. Alex found himself summoned to meeting after meeting, repeating the story to disbelieving officers and excited scientists. 2 weeks later, the ship arrived at Orbital Station 7, a massive diplomatic hub where representatives from across the Galactic Coalition gathered. Alex stood beside Captain Laura Bennett as they waited for the station's docking procedures to complete. He adjusted his dress uniform, uncomfortable with all the attention his encounter had brought. The Coalition Council wants to speak with you directly, Laura said, checking her tablet. This is unprecedented. They rarely request meetings with junior officers. I just stood there, Alex said. I didn't do anything special. You survived an encounter with a Nexvari scout, Laura replied. To them, that's like surviving a supernova up close. The docking bay doors opened, and a delegation of Coalition representatives waited to greet them. Most were from what humans called garden worlds, planets with ideal conditions and little environmental danger. Their bodies were generally slender, with delicate features adapted for comfort rather than survival. A tall alien with skin like polished amber stepped forward. Captain Bennett, welcome to Orbital Station 7. I am First Speaker Trill of the Diplomatic Corps. Thank you for your welcome, Laura said. This is Lieutenant Alex Morgan, our diplomatic officer. Trill's large eyes widened slightly as they studied. Alex. The one who made contact with the Nexvari. We have many questions for you, Lieutenant. The delegation led them through the station's wide corridors. Unlike human ships with their practical designs, the station was built for beauty as much as function. Living plants grew along the walls and water flowed in clear tubes overhead. They entered a large chamber where representatives from at least 20 different species sat in a semicircle. Alex recognized some from his diplomatic training: the insect-like Vesperi, the aquatic Merthal, and the crystalline Quarith. The council meeting will begin shortly, Trill explained. But first, there is someone who wishes to speak with you. Dr. Kate Wilson appeared from a side door, her face bright with excitement. Alex, you won't believe what I've discovered. She pulled him aside while the captain continued with the formal greetings. I've been comparing our sensor readings of the Nexvari with data on Earth predators, Kate said, showing him her tablet. Look at these behavioral patterns. Alex studied the charts, not entirely understanding the scientific notation. In simple terms, Kate continued, the Nexvari responded to you the way a wolf might respond to another wolf from a different pack. Not immediate aggression, but cautious recognition. So they saw us as equals? Alex asked. As fellow predators? Kate corrected. Most Coalition species evolved as prey animals. When they encounter the Nexvari, they panic and run. But you stood your ground, you showed no fear. Before Alex could respond, an alarm sounded throughout the station. Red lights flashed along the corridors, and Coalition representatives began, moving quickly, some showing signs of panic. What's happening? Laura asked, rejoining them. Trill's amber skin had paled to a dull yellow. We've received a transmission. A Nexvari vessel has entered the system. Are they attacking? Laura asked, already reaching for her communicator to alert the horizon. No, Trill said, voice shaking. They're requesting diplomatic contact. With who? Alex asked. With humans, Trill replied. Specifically, they asked for the humans who encountered their scout on the planetoid. They said they wished to speak with the kindred hunters. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Some representatives called for immediate evacuation, while others demanded the station's defenses be activated. First Speaker Trill raised their voice above the noise. The Nexvari have never requested diplomatic contact before. They've never communicated with any species except through threats and attacks. Let me speak with them, Alex said, stepping forward. The chamber fell silent. All eyes turned to the human. Lieutenant, that's not your decision to make, Laura said quietly. With respect, Captain, I'm our diplomatic officer, Alex replied. And they asked for me. After a tense discussion, the Coalition Council reluctantly agreed to allow communication with the Nexvari vessel. Alex, Kate, Laura, and several council members gathered in the station's communication center. The main screen flickered to life, and everyone except the humans stepped back involuntarily. A Nexvari appeared on screen, larger than the one Alex had encountered. Its fur was darker, with silver streaks along its muzzle. More extensive neural implants lined its head and shoulders, glowing with soft blue light. I am Korzath, Alpha Speaker of the Nexvari Conclave, it said, its words translated by the station's computers. The voice was deep and rumbling even through the translation. I seek the human who stood before Vexitan without fear. Alex stepped forward. I am Lieutenant Alex Morgan of Earth. I met your scout on the planetoid. Korzath's 4 eyes studied Alex intently. The scout reported that you did not flee or cower, you stood as a hunter stands. We meant no intrusion into your territory, Alex said. We were responding to a distress call. Territory can be discussed, Korzath replied, surprising everyone. First, I wish to understand, your species is new to the stars. You are from a world called Earth? Yes, Alex confirmed. A planet that the Coalition classifies as a death world. Korzath made a sound that might have been a laugh. As is our home. We have studied your world from afar, your oceans with killing depths, your storms that tear the land, your beasts that hunt in packs. The Nexvari leaned closer to the screen. You are not like the others who travel the stars. You are hunters, as we are hunters. Kate stepped forward to stand beside Alex. We've evolved in similar environments, facing similar pressures. Our species took different paths, but we share common traits. Yes, Korzath said. This is why we wish to speak. For too long, the soft ones have misunderstood us. They enter our territory, they run, they die. They call us monsters because we follow our nature. Alex glanced at the Coalition representatives who were watching with expressions ranging from fear to disbelief. We would welcome the chance to better understand your people, Alex said carefully. Good. We will meet. Not through these machines, but face to face. Korzath's announcement sent visible shivers through the Coalition members. We will dock at your station in 6 hours. Prepare a delegation of your hunters to meet with ours. The screen went dark. This is unprecedented, Trill whispered. No species has ever hosted a Nexvari delegation. Because they've never asked. Before, Kate said. They've found someone they can actually talk to. Alex turned to Captain Laura. I'll need a team. People who won't panic at the sight of the Nexvari. Choose carefully, Lieutenant, Laura warned. This could change everything, for better or worse. As the station prepared for the historic meeting, Alex stood at a viewport watching the stars. Somewhere out there, a ship of apex predators was approaching, seeking understanding with humanity. 2 species, from worlds that tried to kill them, about to recognize something of themselves in each other. We're not so different after all, he murmured to himself. Survivors, hunters, Deathworlders. The docking bay of Orbital Station 7 was silent except for the soft hum of machinery. Alex stood with his chosen team. Dr. Kate Wilson, Security Officer Leah Wong, Engineer Ryan Clark, and Communications Specialist Elena Diaz. Captain Laura waited, a few steps behind them, representing Earth's official authority. Coalition security forces lined the walls, their weapons visible but lowered. First Speaker Trill trembled slightly as the docking tube connected with the Nexvari vessel. Remember, Alex said quietly to his team, no sudden movements, no showing fear. They respect strength and calm. The airlock cycled open. A deep, musky scent filled the air, like pine forests and thunderstorms. Then the Nexvari appeared. Korzath entered first, standing nearly 8 feet tall. His dark fur was decorated with metal ornaments that clinked softly as he moved. Behind him came 5 more Nexvari, each bearing different markings and implants. Their eyes, 4 per Nexvari, scanned the room with predatory focus. Alex stepped forward, maintaining the same calm he had shown on the planetoid. Alpha Speaker Korzath, welcome to Orbital Station 7. I am Lieutenant Alex Morgan of Earth. Korzath studied Alex, nostrils flaring as he took in his scent. Your pack is small, Hunter. Quality over quantity, Alex replied. Each person here is among our best. This seemed to please Korzath, who made a rumbling sound deep in his chest. Good. We do the same. He gestured to his delegation. My best hunters and thinkers. One of the Nexvari stepped forward, smaller than the others with lighter gray fur streaked with blue. This is the one, it said, voice higher than Korzath's. The one who stood before me on the stone world. Alex recognized the Nexvari scout, From the planetoid. You're Vextan? The Nexvari's ears perked up in what seemed like surprise. You remember my name? A good diplomat remembers every name, Alex said. Korzath made a sound that might have been laughter. See? I told you they were different from the others. He turned to first speaker Trill, who visibly flinched. Your kind runs when they see us. These ones stand firm. Why? Trill struggled to find words. Humans are unusual among coalition species. We evolved on a planet that tried to kill us every day, Kate explained, stepping forward. Just like you did. The Nexavari delegation showed immediate interest in Kate. One of them, with silver-tipped fur, approached her with a device that looked like a scanner. This one studies life, the silver-furred Nexavari said. As I do. Kate nodded. I'm a xenobiologist. I study life forms across the galaxy. I am Mevral, Lifekeeper, the Nexavari replied. We should compare knowledge. What had begun as a tense diplomatic meeting quickly evolved into something more like a cultural exchange. The humans and Nexavari moved to a larger conference room, leaving most of the coalition representatives watching nervously from a distance. Korzath spread a star map on the central table. These are our territories. Your coalition friends keep entering without permission, then act surprised when we defend what is ours. Captain Laura studied the map. There seems to be a translation issue. These areas aren't marked as Nexvari, territory on coalition maps. The soft ones do not understand territory as we do, Korzath growled. They draw lines on stars and think that makes ownership. We mark our territories with scent and signal. Any hunter would recognize the signs. Alex began to understand. You've been trying to communicate territorial boundaries, but in ways other species don't recognize. Yes. Vextan's tail swished in excitement. The humans understand. As the meeting continued, Kate and Mevral exchanged information about their homeworlds. The Nexavari homeworld, called Nekthar, made Earth look almost hospitable by comparison. Higher gravity, more extreme weather patterns, and predators that would make Earth's most dangerous animals seem tame. Your wolves hunt in packs, as we once did, Mevral said, looking at images of Earth wildlife on Kate's tablet, before we developed tools and neural networks. That might explain why Alex's approach worked, Kate replied. He unknowingly used proper wolf etiquette, no direct eye contact, calm posture, no running. Meanwhile, Ryan and Leah found common ground with the Nexavari weapons specialists, discussing defense techniques. Elena worked with their communications expert to develop better translation protocols. By the end of the first day, something remarkable had happened. The humans and Nexavari were laughing together, sharing stories, finding common ground. Your people surprise us, Korzath told Alex as the meeting wound down. We had heard stories of a new species joining the coalition but did not expect to find kindred spirits. We're not officially coalition members yet, Alex explained. We're still establishing our place in galactic society. Korzath's eyes narrowed. The soft ones fear you as they fear us. They call your world a death world, as if that is a shame rather than pride. Alex couldn't deny it. Many coalition species treated humans with a mixture of fear and condescension, viewing Earth's harsh environment as primitive and unfortunate. Perhaps, Laura suggested, joining the conversation, humans could serve as intermediaries between the Nexavari and the coalition. We understand both perspectives. Korzath considered this. There is wisdom in your words, pack leader, but words alone are not enough. He turned back to Alex. To truly know each other as hunters, we must hunt together. What are you suggesting? Alex asked. Come to Nekthar, Korzath said. Bring your small pack. Hunt with us in the great trial. Prove the strength of your species. The room fell silent. No non-Nexavari had ever been invited to their homeworld, let alone to participate in what sounded like an important ritual. The great trial is our most sacred hunt, Vextan explained. It is how we prove ourselves worthy of voice in the conclave. Kate could barely contain her excitement. This is an unprecedented opportunity for cultural exchange. Alex looked to Captain Laura, who nodded slightly. We would be honored, he told Korzath. When would this hunt take place? We leave tomorrow, Korzath said. The season of the Great Hunt begins in 7 cycles. We must prepare. As the Nexvari returned to their ship for the night, First Speaker Trill approached the human delegation, still keeping a safe distance from the departing predators. You cannot seriously be considering going to their homeworld, Trill said. No one who isn't Nexvari has ever returned from there. No one's ever been invited before, Alex pointed out. This could change everything, Kate added. If we can establish formal relations with the Nexvari, you'll upset the entire balance of the coalition, Trill interrupted. 2. Deathworld. Species in alliance? The Council will not look favorably on this. Laura stepped forward. With respect, First Speaker, that sounds like a threat. Not a threat, Trill backpedaled. A concern. A warning between friends. Alex watched Trill retreat, troubled by the implications. The coalition had welcomed humans cautiously, but always kept them at arm's length. Now he understood why. They feared what would happen if humans found common cause with other powerful species. We're going, Alex told his team after Trill left. This is too important to pass up. As they prepared for the journey to Nekthar, Alex couldn't help wondering if they were making history or walking into a trap. Either way, the relationship between Deathworlders would never be the same again. The Nexvari ship moved through space with predatory grace. Unlike the smooth, symmetrical designs of coalition vessels or the practical shapes of human ships, it resembled a metallic creature with curved, almost organic lines. Alex and his small team had been given a compartment near the center of the ship. The room was larger than they expected, with walls covered in strange symbols and what looked like star maps. Their navigation system is fascinating, Ryan said, examining the patterns on the wall. It's based on stellar radiation patterns rather than fixed coordinates. Kate was busy recording everything she could. This is the scientific opportunity of a lifetime. No one has ever been allowed to study Nexvari culture up close. The door slid open and Vextan entered. The young Nexvari carried a container that steamed slightly. Sustenance, Vextan said, placing the container on a central table. We have studied what humans can eat. This should be compatible with your biology. Leah eyed the container suspiciously. What exactly is it? Protein cubes from our food synthesizers, Vextan explained. No hunt meat. We know your stomachs might not handle our normal diet. Alex took one of the cubes and bit into it. The taste was unusual but not unpleasant. Something like smoked beef with unfamiliar spices. Thank you, he said. We appreciate your consideration. Vextan's ears twitched in what they had learned was a sign of pleasure. We will reach Nekthar in 10 hours. You should rest before we arrive. The gravity will be stronger than you are. Used to. After Vextan left, Elena voiced what they were all thinking. Are we really going to participate in some alien hunting ritual on a planet even more dangerous than Earth? That's exactly what we're going to do, Alex confirmed. This is our chance to establish a real connection with the Nexvari. Besides, Kate added, we humans have a habit of thriving in places where we shouldn't. It's kind of our specialty. When they arrived at Nekthar, the humans understood why it was classified as an extreme death world. From orbit, the planet looked like a swirling mass of storms and rugged landscapes. Massive mountain ranges cut across continents, and the oceans seemed to be in constant turmoil. The Conclave wishes to observe your arrival, Korzath informed them as they prepared to descend. No non-Nexvari has ever set foot on our world. The landing craft brought them down to a plateau carved into a mountainside. The moment the doors opened, Alex felt the increased gravity pulling at his body. The air was thicker too, rich with unfamiliar scents. A group of Nexvari waited for them, at least 30 strong. Unlike Korzath's delegation, these wore minimal technology and more ceremonial decorations, bones, metal pieces, and what looked like trophies from hunts. The conclave of alpha hunters, Korzath explained, leading the humans forward. They will decide if you are worthy to join the great trial. One massive Nexvari, with fur so dark it was almost black, stepped forward. Scars crisscrossed its muzzle and one of its 4 eyes was clouded white. "I am Rakvor, First Hunter," it growled. "Why have you brought these soft creatures to our sacred ground, Korzath?" "They are not soft," Korzath replied. "They are hunters from Earth, a death world, like our own." Rakvor circled the humans, sniffing the air around them. "They have no claws, no fangs, their skin is thin and easily torn." "Yet they survive," Korzath countered. "They have tools and pack tactics as we do. They stand before predators without fear, as we do." The humans remained still during this exchange, understanding that showing weakness now would be disastrous. Finally, Rakvor stopped in front of Alex. "You claim to be a hunter. What is the largest prey you have killed?" Alex thought, carefully. He had been raised in the suburbs and had never actually hunted anything larger than a fish. But he knew human history. "My ancestors hunted creatures called mammoths," he said. "Twice the size of your largest hunters, with tusks that could impale a predator. They hunted in groups, with spears and strategy, bringing down prey that could crush them with a single step." He pulled out his tablet and showed Rakvor images of prehistoric cave paintings depicting mammoth hunts. The first hunter's eyes widened slightly. "And what do you hunt now?" Rakvor demanded. "Now we hunt knowledge," Kate interjected. "We hunt the stars and the secrets they hold." This caused murmuring among the conclave. Mevral stepped forward. "Hunting comes in many forms, First Hunter. The humans hunt with their minds as well as their bodies." Rakvor seemed unimpressed. "The great trial is not a test of minds. It is a test of survival, of killer instinct." He turned back to Korzath. "They may observe our hunt, but they cannot participate. They would die before the first day ended." Alex felt a surge of the competitive spirit that had driven humans to climb impossible mountains and dive to ocean depths just because they existed. "Let us prove ourselves," he said. "Give us one challenge. If we fail, we will observe only. If we succeed, we join the hunt as equals." Rakvor's scarred muzzle twisted in what might have been a smile. "One challenge, then. The chasm of falling. Skies. Cross it before nightfall and you may join the great trial." As the Nexvari led them toward this challenge, Vextan dropped back to walk beside the humans. "The chasm is dangerous," he warned quietly. "Many young Nexvari die trying to cross it as their first trial. It is not just a physical test." "What does that mean?" Leah asked. "You will see," Vextan replied cryptically. "The chasm of falling." Skies lived up to its name. A massive split in the plateau, at least 200 meters across and so deep the bottom was lost in shadows. Strange wind patterns created a constant howling, and occasional electrical discharges, like small lightning. Bolts jumped between the cliff faces. "You must cross," Rakvor stated simply. "No technology beyond what you carry now. No help from our side." Alex surveyed the challenge. With Earth gravity, it might have been difficult, but manageable. In Nekthar's heavier pull, it seemed impossible. "Have until nightfall?" he confirmed. Rakvor pointed to the sky, where the larger of Nekthar's 2 suns was already descending. "About 4 of your Earth hours." The human team gathered to discuss their options. "There's no way we can jump it," Ryan said, stating the obvious. "And we can't climb down and up. Not in this gravity, not in time," Leah added. Elena studied the strange electrical patterns. "Those discharges follow a pattern. They're not random." Kate was examining the rock face. "This stone is unusual, almost like it has a crystalline structure." Alex looked across the chasm at the watching Nexvari. This wasn't just a test of strength or courage. It was a test of how humans solved problems. "Ryan," he said slowly, "how much cable do we have in our emergency kits?" "About 50 meters each," Ryan replied. "So 250 total." "Not enough to span the gap," Leah pointed out. "We don't need to span it," Alex said, a plan forming. "We need to make a connection." As the sun continued its descent, the humans worked frantically. Using the metal components from their equipment, Ryan constructed a crude grappling hook. Kate identified the strongest points in the crystalline rock structure. Elena calculated the timing of the electrical discharges. Nexavari watched with growing interest as the humans prepared their attempt. Even Rakvor seemed curious rather than dismissive now. "This is how we survived Earth," Alex told his team as they finalized their plan. "Not by being the strongest or fastest, but by working together and adapting. With time running short, they had only one chance to prove that Deathworlders of any species had more in common than not, and that humans deserve to stand alongside the galaxy's most feared predators as equals." Alex stood at the edge of the chasm of falling skies, the makeshift grappling hook heavy in his hands. The suns of Nekthar were sinking lower, casting long shadows across the rocky terrain. He had one chance to make this work. The electrical discharges peak every 7 minutes, Elena said, checking her timer. "You'll have a 30-second window when they're at their weakest." Ryan had reinforced the grappling hook with metal from their equipment. Kate had identified the strongest point on the opposite cliff face. Leah stood ready with the remaining cables, prepared to create a pulley system once the hook caught. 3 minutes until the next window, Elena announced. Across the chasm, the Nexvari watched in silence. Rakvor's scarred face showed no emotion, but Vexitan paced nervously at the edge. "Remember," Kate said quietly, "we're not just doing this for ourselves. We're proving that different species from Deathworlds can understand each other in ways the rest of the galaxy can't." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. He began swinging the grappling hook, building momentum against the heavy gravity. 30 seconds, Elena called. Alex kept swinging, his muscles burning with the effort. The howling winds of the chasm tugged at the cable, trying to pull it off course. "Now!" Elena shouted as the electrical discharges between the cliff faces temporarily diminished. Alex released the hook with all his strength. It sailed across the gap, trailing the cable behind it. For a moment it seemed too short, too slow against the planet's gravity. Then it caught on the crystalline formation Kate had identified. "Pull to test it," Ryan shouted. Alex yanked the cable. The hook shifted but held firm in the rock. Without hesitation, Leah began setting up the pulley system they had designed. 15 seconds until the discharges intensify again, Elena warned. They worked quickly, securing their end of the cable to a boulder. The makeshift bridge hung over the chasm, a single line between two cliffs. "Who's going first?" Ryan asked. "Will," Alex said. "If it holds for me, it should hold for all of you." He attached the harness they had made from backpack straps to the cable. With a deep breath, he pushed off from the edge, hanging upside down from the line. Hand over hand, Alex pulled himself across the chasm. The heavy gravity made each movement a struggle. Below him, darkness seemed to stretch forever. A sudden, electrical discharge flashed nearby, temporarily blinding him, but he kept moving. Halfway across, the cable began to sag under his weight. The rock on the far side was starting to crack where the hook was embedded. "Hurry!" Leah shouted from behind him. Alex increased his pace, ignoring the burning in his arms. The hook slipped another inch. He was still 20 meters from the edge. Suddenly, a large form appeared at the opposite cliff. Vexitan had moved to where the hook was secured and was holding the cable, taking some of the strain off the weakening rock. With renewed determination, Alex continued forward. Another discharge crackled through the air, close enough that he felt his hair stand on end. Then, with one final effort, he reached the far side of the chasm. Vexitan pulled him up onto solid ground. "That was impressive," the Nexvari said. Alex had no time to rest. "The hook won't hold much longer. We need to get the others across." Working together, Alex and Vexitan secured the cable better. One by one, the rest of the human team made the crossing. Kate came next, then Elena. Ryan followed, nearly falling when another electrical surge caused the cable to vibrate violently. Leah came last, reaching the far side just as the hook finally tore free from the rock. The humans stood on the Nexvari side of the chasm, exhausted but triumphant. Rakvor approached, his scarred face unreadable. "You crossed," he acknowledged. "With help," With teamwork, Alex corrected. Including Vextan's. Rakvor's eyes narrowed. Vextan should not have interfered. Why not? Alex asked. On Earth, the strongest wolf packs are those that protect each other. A lone wolf rarely survives. Is it different for the Nexvari? This caused murmuring among the watching conclave members. Korzath stepped forward. The human speaks truth, he said. We hunt as a pack. We survive as a pack. Our strength is in our unity. Rakvor was silent for a long moment. Then, to everyone's surprise, he made a barking sound that might have been laughter. Perhaps we have forgotten some of our oldest ways, he admitted. Very well. You have crossed the chasm. You may join the great trial. The atmosphere changed after that. The Nexvari began to treat the humans not just as curiosities but as fellow hunters. They were brought to the central settlement, a collection of structures built into the mountainside, combining natural cave systems with advanced technology. That night, as the twin moons of Nekthar rose, the conclave held a feast. The humans were given synthetic protein again, but the Nexvari ate fresh meat from their latest hunts. Stories were exchanged around fire pits. The humans told of Earth's greatest predators, lions, sharks, and ancient terrors like Tyrannosaurus rex. The Nexvari described creatures from their world that made Earth's apex predators seem tame by comparison. Tomorrow we hunt the Dreadstalker, Rakvor announced. It is the ultimate test of a hunter's skill and courage. As images of the creature were shared, Alex understood why. The Dreadstalker was a massive predator, combining the worst features of Earth's most dangerous animals: the stealth of a big cat, the strength of a bear, and the aggression of a wounded shark. No single hunter has ever taken down a Dreadstalker alone, Vexatan explained. It requires perfect coordination from the hunting pack. Alex looked at his team. They were tired from the day's challenge, but there was determination in their eyes. Humans had always faced impossible odds throughout their history. It was what they did best. The next morning, as the hunting party prepared to set out, an urgent message arrived from orbit. The USS Horizon had entered the system, pursued by 3 coalition warships. Captain Laura reports that the Coalition Council has declared our alliance with the Nexvari a threat to galactic security, Elena said, reading the message. They're demanding we return to Coalition space immediately. Alex looked to Korzath and Rakvor. This is not our doing. We came in peace. We know, Korzath growled. The soft ones have always feared what they do not understand. They fear strength that is not controlled by them. Rakvor's scarred face twisted in anger. This is why we have kept to ourselves. The Coalition speaks of peace while threatening war. A tense silence fell over the gathering. 2 Deathworld species, finally finding common ground, now faced a common threat. The choice they made next would shape the future of galactic relations for generations to come. Alex looked up at the sky, where somewhere above, ships prepared for possible conflict. Then he turned back to the assembled Nexvari. We came here to hunt together, he said firmly, to prove that Deathworlders can find friendship even among the deadliest predators. Let's show the Coalition what that friendship really means. Rakvor's 4 eyes narrowed. Then he nodded slowly. Yes. 2 packs of hunters joining as one. He raised his voice so all could hear. Today, we hunt together. Tomorrow, we face our common enemy together. A chorus of howls rose from the Nexvari, echoing across the mountains of Nekthar. The humans added their voices to the call. Deathworlders united at last.